There comes a moment in every life when the truth hits you like a thunderbolt. A moment when you realize that everything has led you to this crossroads. The countless decisions, the mistakes, the victories, the heartbreaks, the celebrations, they've all been preparing you for this exact moment in time. The moment when you decide who you truly are and who you're going to become. That moment is now. Maybe you've been beaten down. Maybe life has thrown challenges at you that seemed impossible to overcome. Maybe you've looked in the mirror and no longer recognized the person staring back at you. Maybe you've whispered to yourself in those quiet moments that your best days are behind you, that the dreams you once held are too far gone to reclaim. I'm here to tell you that you're wrong. Your story isn't over, not by a long shot. The fire that once burned inside you hasn't been extinguished, it's just waiting to be rekindled. The strength that defined you hasn't disappeared, it's simply been dormant. The greatness you were destined for hasn't vanished, it's been patient waiting for you to claim it. And that time is now. You'll start living. Look at history. Look at the greatest comebacks ever witnessed. They weren't achieved by people who had it easy. They weren't achieved by those who never faced adversity. Some they were achieved by ordinary people who refused to accept defeat as their final chapter. People who understood that their darkest hour wasn't the end of their story. It was simply the beginning of their awakening. Your past does not define you. Your mistakes do not limit you. Your failures do not determine your future. The only thing that will determine what happens next is your decision, right here, right now, to rise. To rise despite the feed out. To rise despite every voice inside your head and every critic outside it telling you that you can't. Because here's what those voices don't understand: within you lies a power that cannot be measured, a resilience that cannot be broken, a spirit that refuses to be conquered. The path ahead won't be easy. Nothing truly valuable ever comes without struggle. There will be days when your resolve is tested. Moments when giving up seems like the only logical choice. Times when the mountain before you appears too steep to climb. But that's where champions are forged. Not in the easy moments, but in the impossible ones. Not when the path is clear, but when it's shrouded in darkness. Not when success is guaranteed, but when failure seems inevitable. The world is filled with people who gave up just before their breakthrough. People who quit when victory was just around the corner. People who surrendered their dreams because the journey became too difficult, the night too dark, the pain too intense. Don't be one of them, because on the other side of that pain is growth. On the other side of that struggle is strength. On the other side of that darkness is a light so bright it will illuminate not just your path, but the paths of countless others who will be inspired by your refusal to surrender. The question isn't whether you have what it takes. The question is whether you're willing to dig deep enough to find it. Whether you're willing to push past comfortable. Whether you're willing to venture into the unknown territory beyond your limitations and discover what you're truly capable of. Most people aren't. Most people live their entire lives within the familiar confines of what they already know they can do. They never discover their true potential because discovering it requires stepping into uncertainty. It requires facing fear head-on. It requires embracing failure as a teacher rather than hiding from it as an enemy. But you are not most people. You've always known deep down that you were meant for more. Even in your quietest moments, when doubt was loudest, something inside you whispered that you were capable of greatness. That whisper wasn't a delusion. It was your truth trying to break through the noise. It was your destiny calling out to you, waiting for you to answer. Answer it. Now, the world doesn't reward those who wait for perfect conditions. It doesn't celebrate those who play it safe. It doesn't remember those who never took risks. The world remembers the bold, the determined, the relentless, those who looked impossibility in the eye and refused to blink. Be one of them. Your comeback doesn't begin tomorrow. It doesn't begin when you feel ready, when circumstances are ideal, when the fear subsides. It begins now, in this moment, with the decision to stand up, to step forward, to move. Even if that movement begins as nothing more than a trembling first step, take that step. Every achievement in human history began with a single step. Every revolution, every innovation, every triumph over adversity began not with a giant leap, but with a simple, often frightened, step forward. Your comeback is no different. It begins with one action, one decision, one moment of courage. This moment. The obstacles in your path are not there to stop you, they're there to test you, to see how badly you want it, to determine whether your desire for growth is stronger than your fear of failure, to reveal whether your commitment to your dreams can withstand the inevitable challenges that come with pursuing anything worthwhile. Let those obstacles become your stepping stones. Let the resistance strengthen you, let the doubters fuel you. Let every no you hear, every setback you encounter, every failure you experience become another reason to push harder, reach higher, dig deeper. The fire of transformation isn't comfortable, it's scorching. It burns away everything that isn't essential. everything that's been holding you back, everything you've been hiding behind. Standing in that fire requires courage, it demands resilience, it tests your resolve. But when you emerge from those flames, you emerge purified and transformed. You emerge as the person you were always meant to become. Your past struggles weren't punishments, they were preparation. Your failures weren't endpoints, they were education. Your darkest moments weren't dead ends, they were redirections. Everything you've experienced has equipped you for this moment, this challenge, this opportunity to rise. Rise. While others sleep, you work. While others complain, you create. While others make excuses, you make progress. While others wait for guarantee of success, you push forward knowing that the only true guarantee in life is that nothing remarkable happens within your comfort zone. The greatest tragedy in life isn't failure, it's regret. It's looking back and wondering what might have been if only you'd found the courage to try. If only you'd persisted when things got hard. If only you believed in yourself when no one else did. Don't let that be your story. Instead, write a story of resilience so powerful it inspires generations. Create a comeback so remarkable it becomes legend. Build a life so extraordinary that when people speak of determination, of courage, of refusing to surrender to circumstance, they speak of you. This isn't about proving others wrong. It's about proving yourself right. It's about vindicating that voice inside you that has always known you were capable of more. It's about honoring the truth of who you are and who you can become. The journey won't be linear. There will be setbacks. There will be days when it feels like you're moving backward instead of forward. Days when the progress you made seems to vanish, when the old doubts return, when the familiar fears resurface. Someday living, those don't define you. How you respond to them does. Champions aren't those who never fall. They're those who refuse to stay down. They're those who understand that resilience isn't about avoiding failure. It's about using failure as fuel. They're those who recognize that their greatest growth comes not from their successes, but from how they handle their darkest moments. Be a champion. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel ready. Not when the path becomes clear. Today, in this moment, with whatever resources you have, whatever strength you can muster, whatever courage you can find, begin. Begin despite the fear. Begin despite the uncertainty. Begin despite every reason your mind creates to wait for a better time, a clearer path, a stronger version of yourself. That stronger version doesn't create the beginning. It emerges from it. It's forged in the decision to start before you feel ready, to act before you have all the answers, to move forward before the doubt subsides. Most people live their entire lives waiting for the perfect moment. They wait for the fear to disappear, for the path to become certain, for the guarantee of success before they'll take their first step. And in that waiting, their dreams wither. Their potential remains unrealized. Their lives become monuments to what could have been rather than celebrations of what was. Don't let that be your legacy. Your legacy is being written now, in this moment, by the choices you make and the actions you take. Not by intentions, not by your potential, not by what you're capable of, but by what you actually do. By the steps you take when taking those steps terrifies you. By the persistence you show when giving up would be easier. By the determination you demonstrate when the voices around you and within you insist that you're reaching for the impossible. The impossible becomes possible through relentless action, through daily discipline, someday being through unwavering commitment to continuous progress, no matter how small, through understanding that transformation isn't an event but a process that unfolds one decision, one action, one moment at a time. Embrace that process, embrace the discomfort that comes with growth. Embrace the uncertainty that accompanies ambition. Someday you'll start living. Embrace the vulnerability that's inevitable when you're stretching beyond what you've done before, beyond what feels safe, beyond what others might expect from you. Because on the other side of that discomfort, that uncertainty, that vulnerability, that's where you find your greatness. That's where you discover what you're truly capable of. That's where you become the person you were always meant to be. The world is filled with people living lives of quiet resignation, people who surrendered their dreams at the first sign of difficulty, people who allowed the opinions of others to drown out the truth in their own hearts, people who chose security over possibility, comfort over growth, the familiar over the extraordinary. Be the exception, one who refused to settle. Be the one who heard every "it can't be done" as a personal challenge. Be the one who transformed obstacles into opportunities, setbacks into setups, failures into founding stones for future success. Your time is now, not tomorrow, not next week, not when circumstances improve or when the path becomes clearer or when the fear subsides. Now, this moment, this breath, this heartbeat. What are you waiting for? The permission you're seeking doesn't exist. The guarantee you want isn't coming. The perfect moment you're waiting for is an illusion. All that exists is this moment, and the choice before you to remain where you are or to move toward where you want to be. Choose movement, choose growth, choose the uncomfortable, uncertain. exhilarating path of becoming all that you're capable of being. Because here's the truth that most people never realizing your potential is not a fixed destination. It's not a final achievement. It's an ever-expanding horizon that grows more vast with every step you take toward it. The more you grow, the more you realize how much more is possible. The more you achieve, the more you understand how much more you're capable of achieving. That journey begins with a single step, a single decision, a single moment of courage. Dismount up, step forward. Begin, not because success is guaranteed, it never is. Not because the path will be easy, it won't be. Not because you feel ready, you probably don't. But begin because within you lies a power greater than any obstacle. Begin because your dreams deserve your courage. Begin because the world needs what only you can bring. Your awakening isn't some distant future event. It's happening right now. In this moment, with every word you're reading, every breath you're taking, every beat of your heart. It's the realization that you are more than your past, more than your failures, more than your fears. It's the understanding that within you lies everything, everything you need to create the life you've always known you were meant to live. Awaken to that truth. Embrace it. Live it, breathe it, become it. Because this is your time, this is your moment, this is your awakening. And nothing can stand in the way of a soul that has truly awakened to its own power. Rise now, begin now, become now. The world is waiting.